When my family held a family vote, in front of everyone to decide whether I deserved to live in that house or not, one by one every relative raised their hand against me. My mother's face turned pale, but then my uncle walked in with a folder, and the very next moment the entire room fell silent. Raise your hand if you think Emily shouldn't live in this house. My cousin Mark said those words as calmly as if he were ordering pizza. We were all sitting in the living room. Sunday family dinner. 18 people. And I was standing in the middle. One by one hands went up. I heard it. Everyone heard it. My mom, Linda, 63 years old. The thing she fears most in the world is what the neighbors might think. She lowered her eyes and slowly raised her hand. My brother Jason, 38. The golden boy of the family. A real estate agent. Always confident. Always loud. He raised his hand first. His wife Chloe. Fake smile. Sarcasm in every sentence she speaks. She looked at Jason before lifting her hand too. My Aunt Susan. The family drama queen. She raised both hands like she was volunteering for something. If this moment already made your heart ache for Emily, stay with this story. Subscribe to see how truth, betrayal, and one shocking reveal will change everything. My cousin Mark. Self-appointed family leader. In his mind he's basically the judge of our family court. He was the one conducting the vote. My dad, Robert, 67. A quiet man. Always has been. He sat in the corner of the sofa. He didn't raise his hand. But he didn't say anything either. And then there was me, Emily, 35. Divorced. I work in marketing. I'd been living in this house for the past 6 months because my apartment lease ended and the housing market had gone insane. In the eyes of my family, a burden. 13 votes. Mark counted, glancing around the room. Majority says she goes. My chest tightened. This is a joke, right? I asked. Jason laughed. No. It's called accountability. Accountability for what? Chloe tapped her manicured nails against the coffee table. For turning this house into your pity party. I looked straight at my mom. You too. She shifted in her seat. It's just temporary beta. Maybe you need space. From my own family? Mark cleared his throat like a meeting moderator. Rules are rules. You said you'd stay 3 months. It's been 6. I pay rent, I said. And I buy groceries. Jason shrugged. Still awkward. Awkward how? Because you're here, he said flatly. Watching. Judging. I laughed. Not really laughed. More like a sound escaped my throat. So you all think I'm the problem? Chloe answered without hesitation. Yes. Silence fell over the room. Heavy. Poisonous. I turned to my dad. Aren't you going to say anything? He shifted slightly. His shoulders moved. But he stayed silent. My mom's face had turned pale. I don't think she expected the vote to be so public, so humiliating. But she didn't take her hand back either. Mark folded his arms. You have 2 weeks. Pack up. I nodded slowly. Fine. I went upstairs to my room and shut the door. But the voices downstairs still carried through the floor. Jason's voice first. Finally. Chloe's laugh followed. I told you this would work. I picked up my phone. My hands were shaking. But my mind was perfectly clear. Because this wasn't the first time. When we were kids, Jason got the basement bedroom. I asked for it once. He needs privacy. He's a boy. In high school, Jason got a brand new car. Mine was used. He drives more. In college, Dad paid Jason's tuition. I took out student loans. He'll earn more. When my marriage collapsed, Mom told me, you chose him. Jason's business failed twice. Dad gave him $80,000. He just needs another chance. I never asked for a vote. They never gave me one. 6 months ago when I moved into the house, Jason had said one thing to me. Just don't create drama. I didn't create drama. I observed. And I watched. Over the last month, Jason had been coming home late. Chloe seemed suspicious. On Instagram she looked like the happiest wife alive. But at night in the kitchen, I heard her arguing quietly on the phone. One night I came downstairs for water. Chloe was whispering. I can't keep lying. I froze on the stairs. She didn't see me. I know, she whispered into the phone. But after the sale closes. Sale? What sale? The next day Jason was in a great mood. Big deal coming, he said at breakfast. Life-changing. Later that afternoon I passed Dad's office. Papers were spread across the desk. Thick stack. Little signature tabs sticking out. I work in marketing. But I know contracts when I see them. That wasn't a refinance. That was a power of attorney. My dad's name. Jason's authority. I asked Dad that evening. Did you sign something recently? He nodded casually. Just some paperwork Jason needed. Without a lawyer? He's my son. You might want to double-check it. Jason appeared in the doorway. You spying now? Just asking. He stepped closer. Stay out of my business. I stayed quiet. That night. But I never planned to stay quiet forever. On the night of the vote I sat upstairs scrolling through photos on my phone. 2 weeks earlier I had quietly taken pictures of the documents in Dad's office. Every page. Every signature. I sent them to a friend. Allison. We went to college together. She's a lawyer now. Tell me this isn't what I think it is, I texted. 5 minutes later she replied. It's worse. Worse how? He's transferring full financial control. If your dad is declared temporarily incapacitated, your brother controls everything. Incapacitated? My dad is perfectly fine. Doesn't matter. The wording is vague. Dangerous. I stared at the screen. Downstairs laughter echoed through the house. That was the twist beginning to form. But I still didn't have the full picture. The next morning I left to get groceries. Chloe was standing in the driveway. Can we talk? She asked. I narrowed my eyes. About what? My eviction. She looked nervous. For the first time ever. He's doing something crazy. Jason. Yes. He thinks your dad's memory is slipping. He wants control before it's too late. Is his memory slipping? No, she said quickly. He just wants leverage. I crossed my arms. And you're telling me this why? She stepped closer. Because if he pulls this off he'll sell the house. Move us to Florida. My name isn't even on half the accounts. I let out a dry laugh. So now I'm useful? He doesn't know you took photos. I froze. How do you know that? She hesitated. Because I saw you. Then why didn't you say anything? Because I need you. Her voice was different now. No fake smile. No performance. Help me stop him. I looked at her. Why should I? You voted me out. I panicked. Wrong answer. Tears filled her eyes. He forged one page. My entire body went still. What? The last page. Your dad didn't sign it. Jason practiced his signature. Something didn't break inside me. Something ignited. Proof. I asked. She pulled out her phone. A video started playing. Jason sat at the dining table. A blank sheet of paper in front of him. An old document with Dad's signature beside it. He kept copying it. One more time, he muttered. My heart began pounding. That was twist number 1. The vote against me wasn't the real plan. It was the cover. I looked at Chloe. Why didn't you go to a lawyer? He'd know, she said. He checks everything. I nodded. Okay. Okay what? I'll handle it. 2 days later there was another family dinner. Same living room. Same people. Mark looked at me and smirked. So, found a place yet? Working on it, I said. Jason looked relaxed. He thought the game was over. After dinner I stood up. I need 5 minutes. Jason rolled his eyes. Not another speech. Relax, I said calmly. It's about Dad. Dad looked up confused. I connected my phone to the TV. Jason straightened in his chair. What are you doing? Showing something. The video played. Jason at the table. Practicing the signature. The room went completely silent. Chloe stared at the floor. Mom's hand started shaking. That's fake. Jason shouted. It's edited. I switched slides. Photos of the contract pages. Highlighted clauses. Then Allison joined on Zoom. Her voice came through the speakers. Mr. Robert, this document gives your son full financial authority if you are deemed temporarily incapacitated. There's no medical requirement listed. Dad's face turned red. Jason. It was for convenience. Jason snapped. You're getting older. I'm 67. Dad roared. I zoomed in on the final page. The forged signature. Allison spoke again. This signature does not match his verified bank signature. Jason stepped toward me. You ruined everything. I looked straight at him. No. You did. Mom started crying. Jason, tell me this isn't true. He didn't answer. Chloe spoke instead. Loud. Clear. It is. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Thought. Mark cleared his throat nervously. This isn't the time. I cut him off. Actually, it is. Dad slowly stood up. His voice was quiet, but firm. Pack your things. Jason blinked. Then laughed. You're choosing her over me? Dad didn't hesitate. I'm choosing the truth. Jason looked at me. Pure hatred in his eyes. You destroyed this family. I tilted my head. Remember the family vote? He said nothing. But the final twist was the one I didn't expect. Dad turned to me. You're not going anywhere. The room froze. Mom walked over slowly. Her eyes filled with shame. I didn't know. You didn't want to know, I replied. Jason moved out 2 days later. Chloe didn't go with him. The house became quiet. Strangely quiet. A week later Dad called me into his study. I was wrong, he said. Short. Simple. I nodded. He opened a drawer. New documents. I met with a lawyer. And everything is protected. He paused. Equally. Equally. That word had never existed in this house before. Jason doesn't speak to me anymore. Mark muted the family group chat. Susan posted something vague on Facebook. Some people destroy families. I didn't respond. I still live in the same house. But I'm not a guest anymore. Last Sunday at dinner Dad said something new. Emily will be handling the marketing for the new rental property. No one mentioned Jason's name. Mom looks me in the eye now when we talk. Chloe sent a text. Short. I'm sorry. I didn't reply. There was a vote once. Everyone raised their hand against me. But in the end someone finally raised their hand for the truth. And this time, that was enough. If this story moved you or made you think about the meaning of family and truth, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support truly helps us share more powerful stories like this. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this journey with us.